All right, man. It's the Dojo, Domino, Hesh Jones, and back up in the building, back up in the dojo. You've seen him before. Mr. Nerdcore himself got a new project that he wants y'all to support, that y'all should fucking support. If y'all fuck with us, you should fuck with him. We got Mark Cooper here with us today. Coop, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. How about you?
I'm doing all right, man. Can't complain. Trying to get over a cold, this, that, and the third, but it is what it is. Still got work to do. Got shit that need to be done. But
Every time.
it's whatever. So, new project you got coming out soon that you want us to help. You got a Kickstarter going. It's called The Orange Tape.
That's right.
Now, it's about, I guess, Nickelodeon, like the golden ages of Nickelodeon.
Yeah, actually, it covers the whole thing.
The
Because
whole thing.
April 1st will be 45 years of Nickelodeon.
45 years. Damn. Damn.
1979 to 24. Yeah.
Really? Shit.
Yeah, it's been around for a good while.
Mm,
And what I wanted to do is I noticed a whole bunch of different things circulating for it, but I just wanted to pay homages to the idea of what they
mm,
were trying to accomplish. A network that's for kids by kids, and it's been like that for decades on end.
mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that it's not even just picking up shows and having everybody in the network. The fact that they got together and say, what, we're gonna make our own shows, we're gonna make our own animation studio, we're gonna make our own setup where they can go behind the scenes and see how studio and television works. There were just so many different Easter eggs of how the industry works that people can actually see it being live is mind blowing. And I
Mm.
wanted to make sure that I make a project that pays homages and tributes to everybody that's worked on this network as hard as possible in the best intent.
Mm. That's dope, man. Now, why is this so near and dear to your heart? Were you a Nickelodeon kid growing up?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. What was it until like a certain time, or were you always like, "Hey, I don't give a fuck about Cartoon Network. I don't give a fuck about Disney. I'm always Nickelodeon to the death."
Well, here's the thing. I've always loved Nickelodeon because of the facts of the types of Nicktoons they would have, the different random programming they'll have in between, like either like the Big Help, or you'll
Mm-mm.
see stuff like from Wienerville, or you'll see stuff
Stick
from
Stickly.
Stick Stickly. You know what I mean? And you also get hip to brand new cartoons and things like that. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? If it wasn't the case, you wouldn't know what Chalk Zone was. You wouldn't know what
Right.
the era of SpongeBob, of course, the
Mm-hmm.
Kablam giving multiple different
Damn.
animators opportunities, and then actually now got their own show. It's like a lot of creativity with dozens and dozens of animators, especially in the bumpers, how they
Mm-hmm.
give so much respect to so many individual animators that did that. So it's like it was a network that gave everybody a chance.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Cartoon Network was definitely, this was a Nintendo Sega battle, and it
Right.
always will be. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It always will be. And it was just things about Nick that they just kind of were already in the home of it, because Cartoon Network came in like 92. So a
Yeah.
lot of the stuff they were picking up
Yeah.
was from like the Hanna-Barbera stuff, and then they
Mm-hmm.
started doing their own thing too. But what was great about Nickelodeon is now they put live action individuals that look like us as kids
Mm-hmm.
playing in Wild and Crazy Kids, or
Double Dare.
Nickelodeon. Yep, you know what I mean? it
Mm-hmm.
just it just looked overall fun, and it made it look like it was feasible to do. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many people do you know that looked at Nick Arcade and said, I want to go in that video zone?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We saw representation there. And that's something that was great about Nickelodeon. It was full of representation.
Right. Now, why a Kickstarter?
Well, I've never done a Kickstarter ever in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I wanted to try that is because I wanted to see if it was a network or brand, because I've never seen it done before.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to see if this was something that a lot of people would want to support. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just about, oh, I'm get this money for it, and then I'm gonna do this and do that. I wanted to figure out a way to say like happy birthday Nickelodeon without having to be that, oh, I just made an album. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I collaborated with many different types of people who do crafts and podcasts, and they have all their particular brands, and we put it all in the box, so they'll be able to not only know the things I do, but they'll also know everybody who was involved, appreciative, and then, promotion is best promotion. So
Mm-hmm. Right, right. Now, how many tracks are on this thing?
Well, I want to say for this one's going to be 16.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's going to be another part I haven't told anybody yet, but it'll be later. There'll also be a side B that's called the slime tape. And it's going to have like
Mm-hmm.
another 10 or 12 tracks from various other artists as well. You know what I mean? Like maybe a cover of Pete and Pete, or you might hear something from
Mm-hmm.
Danny Phantom. You know what I mean? Just certain things that I know I covered, but there'll be
Mm-hmm.
certain parts of Nickelodeon that maybe I wasn't 100% into like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know there are people who are. So we'll be able to cover the whole masses of it the best way I could.
Is this thing very sample oriented, very sample driven? Like, are you taking theme songs and chopping them up? And is that every other song or every song, or are you? Is
A
it
little
more
bit.
so original beats, but the subject matter is more catered towards the show or like the experience that you're speaking of with Nickelodeon?
Oh, it's a little bit because it'll be too cliche to flip in all that theme song. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you'll
yeah.
everybody's expecting that. I want to say about 85, 90% of it is original.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the stuff might have a chop or two or some, some stabs too, but it'll be all original music. It won't be like, I get a Danny Phantom beat and then put a loop and then also there's a trap beat. Oh, Danny Phantom, let's go. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
nothing, nothing like that at all. I'm make sure everything's original the way I do it.
Okay. Now, what was your introduction to Nickelodeon? Because everyone has a different entry point. Mine personally was Double Dare, and then I think after Double Dare came on Wild and Crazy Kids, and then after that I'm just stuck. Maybe I might have turned channels or maybe not. I just don't remember what might have came on. And I think Nick Arcade came on like 90, 91, something like that. And then you get your
Well,
Rugrats, you get your your Rocko's Modern Lives, you get your Hey Arnold down, so on and so forth. So what was your entry point?
I want to say it was Nicktoons, to be honest. I think
Okay.
a lot of us 80s, late 80s babies, 87, 88, we
Mm,
were really introduced to it that way. I was
mm-hmm.
also introduced to Nick Arcade because I was 5 or 6. I was really enjoying video games, from having, the Genesis and you grow up in that console base and then you see somebody looking, looks just like you, like, hey, there's a video game. Like, really? Oh, that's awesome. And
Mm-hmm.
then with Phil Moore, you just
Shout out to fucking
really
Phil
can
Moore, man.
right. You connect with him because he makes it fun. And sometimes when it comes to game shows, you always get that aesthetic. Chances are you're going to lose.
Yeah.
You always get that aesthetic as well. I mean, look at Legends of the Hidden Temple. We
Mm-hmm.
sit there and we scream. I think it was probably one of the first shows that you would scream at scream at the television like it's 3 pieces.
Yeah.
It's a shrine of the silver. It's
How the
three
fuck are you
pieces.
mixing it up? This is an ass. Put it on the bottom.
Right. You get what I'm saying? But then you look at it later and you're like, it's the time pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And for them being kids, rushing in pressure is not an easy it's not an easy
Yeah.
handoff. And I had to look at that. And that's the same thing with guts and like going through the aggro crag. Like even
Mm-hmm.
though it was daunting, most of those kids never rock climbed before.
No.
So that's where it get interesting. But honestly, Nickelodeon's Nicktoons where I got into it. It's Rugrats and Doug for me.
Doug, yeah.
Yeah. Because Doug was the ultimate fever dream of daydreaming
Right,
ever.
yeah.
Like ever. Like you look at it later, you're like, wow, this man really talked in third person his whole life.
His whole life.
Right. And all you can think in your head, dear journal, it's me, Doug. And you just keep hearing
Every
that for the rest of your life. So,
got some of the most iconic slappers I've ever heard in television media, period.
ever. Yeah.
Ever. Hanging on a trash can, nematodes, all type of stuff.
Oh, yeah. The beats were there.
Oh, the beats, man. Listen. Now, have you reached out to anyone, I guess is iconic in that Nickelodeon field, whether it be voice actors, whether it be on-screen personalities? Like, we talked to Phil Moore and I think he put together a documentary on Nickelodeon or something like that. Is there anyone from our favorite shows that would appear on this project?
Absolutely. One I do have is it's a segment, it's like a video segment I'm going to do. And it's called it's going to be the first episode of this series I'm going to drop that's called Game Master. And
Mm,
the way it's going to work is I have like the five, what the works is that I have the five game show hosts of our era from that's Mark Summers, Kurt Fogg, Phil Moore, Summer Sanders, and Michael Malley. And then they'll
Mm,
basically give me a Five Fingers of Death version of that in Nickelodeon, but it's each level saying I have to match a certain amount of references in a certain time slot.
that's hard.
Yeah. So I was gonna do that, have that set up all 5 rounds. I get to talk to them face to face kind of thing. That's my ideal. That's gonna be on there. And that has nothing to do with the tracks that's on the album. So I'm not gonna just give you 5 tracks like that and be, oh, 10 left. No,
Right,
you actually get that as an addition as well.
right, right. Now, did you reach out to these people personally and pitch
Yeah,
this to them?
absolutely.
And how and what were the what's the overwhelming response when it comes to
Well,
that? I mean, obviously, if you saying it's happening, then they did it. But what was like the I guess the conversation like?
well, the conversation was very interesting because
Mm,
a lot of times they'll see people. There's a lot of panders in this world,
right.
especially in short form content. They sit there and look up anniversaries and then all of a sudden want to have some kind of thing so they feel like they're the first to know and
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. So, originally I pitched it by them seeing the Kickstarter and all that. So I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm about to do this. Hey, you want to do it? Okay,
Mm,
fine. I mean, originally what was going to be was a Guinness World Record, which is the most references by a television franchise, which would have been
mm.
1,000 references on one song. So it'd have been 15, 20-minute song, and I would have went all the way. And I don't do the pandering ones where it'd be like, all right, ready, go. Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil Susie. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that.
I'm rapping.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying? I'm rapping. But once I mentioned it to them, they were like, we really appreciate the cause because even though, everybody talks about Knicks this, Knicks that, people never really talk about how it actually started. Like,
Mm,
as much as people talk about the new documentary, they completely sleep on the real documentary. It's called The Orange Years,
yeah,
which
that's the one that Phil was
explains
talking about.
them where they got the name Nickelodeon, which explains why everybody in the television industry didn't want to do anything with them because they weren't broadcast, they weren't mainstream. And
Mm,
then when they picked up you can't do that on television, that's where slime came from.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That was like one of the first Saturday Night Lives for kids back then. And
Mm,
then everything started building more and more and more. Like people don't even know that Nickelodeon was even orange at first. It was a pinball from a pinball machine where it used to circle around and everything.
remember that vaguely.
Right. You
Too.
get what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
it's one of those elements where you have to appreciate where everybody has gotten to.
Mm,
And then by being able to make a project that says, you know what? Thank you, Bill. That was one of the animating bumpers from 1985 for
mhm,
making this, for making that. And I want to make sure we pay that homage because people don't know that the graphic artist from MTV partnered with Nickelodeon for some of
mm,
that stuff, which is why we got a Ren and Stimpy. If that never happened, we wouldn't have that.
mm, yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
just
I
gave
heard
my,
some
yeah.
things about the creator of Ren and Stimpy. Uh, I'm pretty sure they're true, but you know, it's pretty. It goes along with the new Nickelodeon doc, the Dark Days, or like whatever it's called. This new
Yeah.
doc that just came
Yeah,
out.
quiet on set. Yep.
Yeah, it goes along with that. Now how extensive was your research when it came to making this project? Like, were you like for days and days looking on like the tiniest of credit where it was like, oh, y'all might have forgot this, or digging in like the archives of like, oh,
Well,
I
well, I
remember this,
didn't.
but
I
don't nobody else
well,
remember this.
well. The thing is, I didn't. Where's Waldo? It, if
Yeah,
that makes sense. You know what I mean? I didn't be like, well, this Waldo had blah blah blah. What I
yeah,
did was most of it was things I grew up with, and
like surface level stuff. Yeah.
it's really really heavy in the Orange Years type of setup. So anything
Hmm.
from like I'll have heavy reference from maybe 85 to maybe 2015.
Okay.
I would say a lot of my heavy references are there.
Mm.
But I did have to look at some stuff like where it started and just a little bit of history because the fact that Nick News covered stuff like that, like the one thing that we would turn off on Sunday at 7 o'clock
Hmm.
with Letterby, when she did
Hmm.
the Nick News and talking about the world, we knew the cartoons was over.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we swapped over, or we just called it a night or whatnot.
Hmm.
But it was just learning about where everything came from.
Hmm.
And the most important thing is because me being a teacher, research and information and being able to convey a message the way I do it it's very important. So
Mm,
it's great to hear like, hey, I know that you came in the SpongeBob era. Hey, I heard you came in the Henry Danger era. Hey, you were here when, when Doug first came out. It's
mm,
literally paying homages to all those eras of things that we grew up with. And if
mm,
people didn't grow up with it, I do provide that, that nostalgic trip so they can be able to hear the things that maybe we grew up with
mm.
that the kids, beyond us had never got a chance to experience.
Yeah, and then maybe they want to go back and do their own research
Yep,
type of thing.
absolutely.
Now, was there anybody that you reached out to that denied you or rejected you?
Um, to be honest with you, not yet.
Hmm, that's good then.
Not yet. I didn't do a situation where it's like 80 people or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I
But
didn't go an astronomical number. I went
yeah.
where it would make total sense all the way through. You know
Mm,
what I mean? Certain people who were in Nickelodeon that actually rap, I reached out to them for verses. You know what I mean?
mm,
It's just narrowing everything down. But the thing is about it, it's all about being prepared and having everything completed. Because most people like to pitch ideas and don't have anything completed at all.
mm,
And then they end up looking unprofessional or looking not good.
mm.
Everything's got to be solid with them. So if everything's already finished up and say, look, I would love for you to be on this song or whatever, let me know what you want to do. You send it to them, it's already done, it's mixed, completed, and
Mm.
then they can make the decision right then and there. It's not like, well, it's a rough draft, we're working it out.
Yeah.
I got my engineer, you're still mixing it. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the time.
They don't got time to play with you.
Exactly. So you got to be
Nigga, if you
prepared
got a
every
verse from
time.
Kel Mitchell, that'd be fire.
It would be.
It would be.
Yeah.
Now, how long
Because
has
he
this been
still
in the
raps to
works?
this day.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, how long has this project been in the works? Like, how long have you been working on this? How long has this been an idea of yours?
I'll say about a year and a half.
Okay. Now, how long until you actually started? Like, so you have the idea, and then I guess you flesh it out. Now, how long until you actually get into the studio and start recording? Like, after you got your notes and your bullet points of what you want to rap about and what you want to do, how long until you get into the studio?
Well, I'm in the studio now, but
In the studio.
during this time, I was making the beats for it over time.
Okay.
So a lot of the beats are done, and then now it's just about reaching out to different kinds of producers, different artists, just hook concepts, hook references, all those things. Which you'll see in this orange tape package. Like you'll get a behind the scenes start to finish of
Mm,
everything. From the beats
mm,
to the hooks to the recordings to me watching the TV, having fun with it,
okay.
all those. You'll get that as well with this.
Okay. 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 Now, it's not done yet, right?
Oh no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So your aim wasn't to drop it on the anniversary date, but it was like around that date.
Nope. I actually plan to drop it in July.
Okay. Now, why
But
July?
what I wanted to do for is I'm sending out a digital birthday card to Nickelodeon for their happy birthday.
Okay.
And that's why I was asking different people for their favorite Nickelodeon quotes and all that. They put that all on the card. Some people who paid for their quote to be there, make sure we put their name in there as well. And
Hmm.
just makes the overall great experience. Like I'm sending it to, it's not like it's the CEO of Nickelodeon now. It's
Hmm.
like a couple of the ones that started it in the 80s. They get a card and then,
Oh.
various of that. So it's like that kind of thing. Because
Mm.
sometimes just sending it to the newest person, like, hey, happy birthday, be like, oh, well, thank you. You know what I'm saying? But
I
but
didn't expect
sometimes
it,
it's
but
good,
thanks.
right? But sometimes it's always great to give because there's people who step down over time. And I
Yeah,
would love to send them that birthday card, like, hey, just want to let you know we didn't forget. We appreciate you.
that's nice, man. That's fucking dope.
Yeah. So
Now, as
that's what I
far as
wanted to do.
features on this, away from like I guess people that actually worked in the Nickelodeon studios, can you speak on who you have or how many you have?
Um, Yeah, I can speak on him. One
Okay.
I got is Sky Blue. He's an artist out of South Carolina,
Okay.
and he's done stuff with Funimation and various other things. Really, really chill dude. His
Mm.
music is like jazz hop, so it's got the hip hop, but it's more of a jazz good feeling
Yeah.
thing. He's been in a couple games. He's fire. So definitely Sky Blue is one. Let me think here. Then I got other producers like such as like my brother's Diz. He we co-collabed on a beat for Guts, which is gonna be interesting.
Okay.
My boy Ray Caceres that plays guitar, he's teamed up with some like a Double Dare type of record and various other things. It's gonna be pretty heavy.
Okay. Now, what was I wanted to ask? Um, are there certain like shows or aspects that you skipped over on purpose because you didn't think they fit the album, or like you that you personally didn't like?
Well, personally, I what I did was I know there's like hundreds of shows at this point.
Yeah.
So what I did is I had a track, like one track is called Land of the Lost, like from the 1991 live action show. But
Where
what I
is that
did,
show? Where the fuck
bro,
is that show?
nobody can find it, bro. It's
I'm pretty
just
sure it's
like
on Amazon on DVD or something like that, but that shit should be on streaming somewhere.
yeah, but do you know one show that you will never find to the light of day? Muppet Babies. You will never find it because there were so many copyright things when it came with Nickelodeon and stuff. Muppet Babies is gone. You can't
When they were
find.
actually babies,
Yes. You are
that
you
was
joking?
that was that was
You
on
never
Nick
seen.
Jr., wasn't it?
No, that was a
It was on
regular.
Nickelodeon?
That was Nickelodeon, bro.
Huh. I could have swore that was Nick Jr. Okay.
Well, it's part of that network, but the thing is,
Yeah,
you
but
won't.
yeah,
But
but well, to me personally, Nickelodeon and Nick Jr. are two different entities. They on the same tree, but they like far. So
yeah,
when someone says Nickelodeon, I don't think of Blue's Clues, no shit like that. I think of like, Doug and Rugrats and, Rocket Pop and shit like that.
but nope, nope. You know what? I'm sorry. It is Nickelodeon because they used to air at prime time too.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was on like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., just some shit like
Yep.
that.
Yep. But their Nicktoons start off in the morning like that too. And then 9 o'clock is when they started all the Nick Jr. stuff till like 2 p.m. And then
Mm.
by the time it's three or so, they either air in some live action show for the hour, and then they go into the Nicktoons like 4, 5, and 6 and 7.
Yeah, maybe I'm remembering it wrong because at first, I don't think Nick Jr. came around to like what, 95, 94, 96, something like that. Because it was definitely all one thing.
It was always there. It was in
Nick
the
Jr.?
90s too. Yeah, it was in the 90s too. Like they,
Yeah,
like
Nick Jr. was
like
definitely in the 90s, but it wasn't part of
I
like, it
mean,
wasn't.
it was in the early 90s. Yeah, it was. There was Eureka's Castle, and then there was
Fucking hey,
yeah,
I remember Ricker's Castle. Yeah,
Allegra's Window, Dave the Gnome,
Rupert.
Rupert, yeah.
I forgot all about Rupert.
And then early in the morning there was Flipper and Lassie. You see what I mean? It's things I remember
Yeah,
and
and that
don't.
was Nickelodeon. What? Oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if it wasn't animated. I probably put it out my mind,
yeah. People
but
forget Beetlejuice was on there.
it was.
There was a lot of classics that people don't remember. I mean, of course, there's My Brother and Me, and
Yeah.
and various others like that, Roadhouse and Get the Picture, and you go and saying Finders Keepers. They were all rolled in. They just aired at different times. Like people forgot Alvin and Chipmunks used to be on there. You know what I mean?
That wasn't Disney Channel?
No. They had one that was in the 60s they came out with, and then they had one that came out in the 80s, and Nickelodeon picked that up. Alvin and Chipmunks
Wow.
is not a Disney thing.
Wow. Hmm.
So you already
Learning me
know in
something.
depth.
Okay.
You already know in depth. I want to know what's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
I'm gonna take your word for it. Yes.
Right. Oh yeah.
Um, what else did I have? Yeah. So you said it goes from 79 to 2015, right?
Well, it's going to be 2024 because it's
20,
45. But I'm
okay.
just saying what I know in depth will be
Okay.
from the 2015. I'll still
Now,
go through stuff in that, but I'm just saying my like harness is in those years.
right, right. Now, I know none of this is gonna be on the orange tape or the slime tape, but did you watch Quiet on Set?
I sure did.
And what are your thoughts? Is it anything different than what anybody else has been saying? Like, did you? I mean, as a kid, we didn't have any inkling that this might have been going on, but as an adult, we look at it with a different lens, and now we can see where it's like, this shit didn't look right. This shit don't sound right. Yeah, that was racist. Yeah, that's a little weird. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's interesting. And I'll tell you why. Was the documentary horrific for the things that we saw? Absolutely.
Mhm.
Was it something that caught us completely off guard about how intensively bad it was? Yes, it was. A lot of you mean the whole Dan Snyder thing and the Brian Peck, and all the various people who played hands in this situation
Mhm.
is awful. And it's a shame that child stars that are practically our age dealt with these kind of things, and we were just laughing at the stuff because we were kids. You know
None
what
the
I mean?
wiser.
Right. However,
However.
however, there is something that does need to be mentioned here. For people to say the entire network is in the wrong of all that stuff, as in, because keep in mind, different business, different people, different leaders at
Mhm.
times, and all of these things, right? To say that Quiet on Set represents that entire franchise or that entire brand is crazy, because you have to see the orange years for the individuals who had it. They had a great foundation and a great start. Also got to pay close attention here. Now, this is the era about 96, 97 when all that came. That was when, like, one of the first times they went another attempt for making live action for kids.
Mhm.
New person. And around that time, 96, 97, their numbers were booming because they were competing with Toonami, and Disney was doing a lot of their particular lineup shows and everything. Like, there
Mhm.
was Saturday morning cartoons was it in
Mhm.
96, 97.
Right.
Around that, 92 to 98. Everybody had cartoons, everybody had their lineup. They were competing with everybody with kids.
Mhm.
Nickelodeon got into an opportunity where they got ratings they never seen before because of all that and the popularity of it. So with the popularity of it, they never seen that before. So they started investing, getting better and better shows. They're running with Dan Snyder with that. And then there was just situations where things slipped under the cracks and they didn't see it. Just like any other company that would get in that, particular situation.
Mhm.
Should they have been more aware because it was kids? Absolutely. But some people are just like, oh, Nickelodeon, the whole franchise is completely terrible because of that. And that's not the case. But it's great to know that this documentary did come out, because the first time in history, we're going to see some laws change that will protect child actors. Because with child actors, they don't get paid royalties. They only
Mhm.
get paid for that episode, period.
Mhm.
So they don't get any of the royalties for any of those shows at all, because they're at a certain age where they can't collect that for taxes. So they have to pay them outright.
I
You get
never
what
knew
I'm
that.
saying? And think about, I mean, they talk about this. Think about the 80s. You seen how those children's shows in the 80s used to look?
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
all that's all I'm saying. I just think it's just the talk of the town right now. And everybody is just like, oh, I can't even believe this happened. This is crazy. But in reality, it's an eye opener to let people know, hey, this is an issue. And now that we have something that gives us that platform of knowing it's an issue, it could change the game and really change the future for future child actors or anything like that. There could be some laws put in place.
yeah. I mean, with this Nickelodeon doc, they didn't really, shed light on anything new. I mean, it's new when it comes to Nickelodeon specifically, but they didn't shine anything new when it comes to child actors in Hollywood, in general.
It's been
Because
like that forever. Yeah.
we've been hearing stories about this since, child actors have been child actors. Like I've been, the Corys,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
Corey
Corey
Feldman, but
Feldman.
the
Yeah.
other one.
Macaulay.
Yeah, the one that, committed suicide.
Oh, Aaron Carter?
No,
No, not Aaron Carter.
remember it was two Corys, like in the 80s, they was in a lot of films together. It was Corey Feldman and it was Corey something else. And one of the other Corys wound up taking his own life because of, what was happening to him as a child actor. I forgot. It's if you do your Googles, you can look it up.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah.
But they didn't shed light on anything new, but I don't know why everyone's surprised that it happened at Nickelodeon, because it's only a surprise because it wasn't in our face, as it wasn't shoved in our face all the time, because it's not all the time that we hear about this happening to children, like this isn't daily news or something like that, but it's something that
Right.
does happen, like often. But in every industry, we have to watch out for kids. We have to watch out for women. Hell, we gotta watch out for men. We gotta watch out for everybody. It's just like with power comes those type of people. Those type of people aren't far behind when it comes to matters of money. When it comes to matter of uh visibility and getting yourself out there and making a name or brand for yourself. It damn near comes with the territory. Like somebody gonna try you. Like it happens in music, it happens in TV, it happens in radio, it happens in every industry. If someone has power, they're gonna try to manipulate it, no matter how old, how young, no matter what you identify as, they're gonna try you.
Agreed. Agreed.
So, I mean, it's something that I'm not surprised at, but I'm surprised. I'm also surprised who it happened to at
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, me too.
Not more so that it happened, because if it was anybody, I would have thought, it would have happened more on all that. It would have happened more on because Drake and Josh came along what 2011, 2012, something like that.
Earlier than that.
Um yeah, probably
Yeah.
earlier than that, but
Yeah.
what we need to be looking at, you know, I don't know if this is like a pardon the pun, but domino effect. Like I don't know if Disney gonna come out next. I don't know what's gonna happen next. Orlando Brown, he been bugging for a while. I don't know if he let some secrets fly like in between that craziness. I'm pretty sure he said some truth.
Oh, absolutely. Him, Raven Simone,
Yeah,
Corey Maddie, or I think it's
yeah.
Maddie. Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot going on. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it went back to the Mickey Mouse Club or something like that. So we'll see if anything funny happened to Justin or whoever. But I mean, it'll come out sooner or later.
Man, if Disney ever got pulled in, I'm as a person who worked for Disney, I'm petrified to see if they ever have like a docu series from that. Because bro, like when I tell you that could destroy it, I
All
mean
you need
it
is
could
one. You need
destroy
one
it.
whistleblower. But you know, Disney got money long as train smoke.
Yes.
They could shut up at the right. Like if everyone has a price. I don't want to say it's right, but everyone has a price. If they
Oh
gave
yeah.
you X amount of dollars to shut up, no matter how detrimental it is to your mental health, physically, whatever the case, right amount of money, I think Disney got it to shut you up.
Yeah.
And if it comes out, this person has to be under heavy surveillance. They really don't care about the establishment. They don't care about tearing down anything. And once Disney falls, it's a lot of other motherfuckers that's gonna go with it. Because I think Disney is one of those tops. When it once they go down, a whole bunch of motherfuckers going with them.
Yeah.
So we will see. But back to the orange tape.
No problem.
Now, so it's coming out in July. Do you have a specific date in July, or is just like a blanketed July, like whenever?
I think it's going to be any day in July. I haven't picked a official date just yet, but that's my
Mhm.
plan. That's my ballpark.
Any ideas or anything that you're waiting to come in that you're excited about, whether it be a verse, whether it be a concept, whether it be a beat, whether it's something? Is there anything that you're waiting for to come in? Like, this will make the project that much better, or like this is like the final piece?
Well, to be honest, it's just some really cool features and different kinds of beats and tracks and various things that could happen with it. It just the whole project itself is just completely fun. I just
Mm,
can't wait to see it, all come together in fruition.
okay. Now, how long has the Kickstarter been active?
It's been active for I believe 27 days. Got about a couple days left. It'll be ending the 28th of this month.
Okay, word. All right, let me go get my money and go do something for you.
Well,
Support my
I
man's.
appreciate you, man.
I don't, man. Listen, anybody that support me, I try to fuck with y'all and help y'all whenever y'all want it or whenever y'all need it. So, same love y'all give to me, I try to give back. Whether that be using my platform to spread the word, whether it be financial or whatever the fuck I can do to get your dream out there. As a dreamer myself, what am I gonna do? I gotta support who support me.
It's an honor, man.
No doubt. Now, is there anything else that we need to talk about with this project? That's pretty much all I got.
Um, well, other than that, it's pretty straightforward. It's just, just wait around and see. You'll see a lot of updates from me.
All right. All right. So where can they follow you? So other than this, you got any more projects coming out soon this year?
Um, well, I've been doing a couple things. Like I'm in the process of finishing up the Power Rangers stuff.
Mm,
So we're just got a couple episodes to do, which is gonna be great. Doing the Jet Boy animated series portion, getting ready to do some voice work for that.
right.
And it's just really about, doing the best and having fun. But pretty much I'm all good. And if they need to follow me, best way to follow me is it's Mark Cooper. That's ITSMARKCOOPER. You follow me, you're a superstar. How's that?
Word, word, word. As always, Mark Coop, man, appreciate you. Anytime you got anything to promote, anything you want to say, the dojo doors are always open. You got an open door policy over here, brother.
Well, it's an honor, man.
I appreciate you,
Rocky
man.
loves Emily. We know.
Forever and ever. Come
Right.
back, man. We love you.
Gotcha.
All right, Mark. Yeah, be easy, man.
All right, same.
This is Nick Arcade. It's a quest for the testing video games. I'm all in. I feel like I'm at home, ready for the challenge in the video zone. So let's go. This is Nick Arcade. It's a quest for the testing video games. I'm all in. I feel like I'm at home, ready for the challenge in the video.